Hello again, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California on this rather chilly, little breezy morning here. It's beautiful. It's Tuesday morning, and man, I'll tell you, we got the threat of rain tomorrow, but more than that, we have got really some crazy stuff going on. Bluefin tuna down the Baja Coast. Who knows where else it is? Many boats will be running on the weekends now out of San Diego. We'll have the word on that, what they saw, what the Old Glory caught, the water temp, and everything else. It's sounding pretty darn good. And that yellowtail, we see it down there at San Quintin. We see it up the coast a little bit at Punta Colonet. Then we see it there around Santo Tomas, Ensenada, the Coronado Islands, La Jolla. There are yellows everywhere, and it's early for that to be happening. Something is going on this year. Perhaps that El Nino taking effect. We'll be back to some more halibut fishing. Sheephead is open here in Southern California. There's just a couple more weeks of lobster fishing and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, it's chilly out here, and that tastes so good. I'm feeling so much better than I was a few days ago when I was down in the hospital for 4 days. Thank God. I have to feel like I'm really, really blessed. So thank you for all your love and support during that time. It means the world to me. If you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Also, share these videos with a friend. You can also tick the bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. And of course, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Also, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also available to you 24/7. Boy, we have got so much to talk to you about. I mean, this bluefin tuna thing is really starting to come together in a big way. And it's the very beginning of March. That's pretty darn crazy when you think about it. I have to mention to you our April 4th through the 9th 5-day trip on the Independence just looks better and better every single day. Now, a couple of ways you can do it. You can go to independencesportfishing.com. You can call the Independence office, or you can go by and see Paulina at the PCS show, which starts in the Orange County Fairgrounds on Thursday and runs through Sunday. Go find Paulina at the Independent Sport Fishing booth. If you don't want to go on the 5-day, you can't make that one with us, they've got other trips available. It's coming together in a big way. I hope I see you on that great trip. It promises to be a good one. Let's talk Mexico for a moment. Down there in Cabo San Lucas, there has been some breezy weather, but there's been some very nice weather also. Striped marlin fishing continues to go along pretty darn well with some yellowfin tuna to the outside and some dorado and also an occasional wahoo on the local area. Down in San Quintin, whoa, it's a little breezy down there this morning. I talked to a couple guys before I walked out here on the beach, and it's kind of blowing down there this morning, up to around 20 knots. We'll see if they can get anything accomplished. But looking at the big picture, they've had great yellowtail fishing at times down there. The yo-yo iron is super effective way to take some really nice, great yellows. A lot of, I want to say 18 to 25 pound. Yeah, there's some smaller fish, and there's some fish up in the 30-pound class, but some really nice yellowtail action, limit style fishing on many days down there, 140 miles below the border at San Quintin. And also, you can catch lings and reds and so much more. Man, you have got to take advantage of that. If you have never driven down to San Quintin, it is really a glorious drive and a lot of fun and a lot of really good people down there in that neck of the woods. We move you up to Ensenada and a vast cornucopia of different species. There's been some yellowtail. Sometimes you have to run a little bit further south from Ensenada. Now, Ensenada is 70 miles below the border. Sometimes you'll have to go down to Santo Tomas, 85 miles below the border, and fish that zone for breezing schools of yellowtail that you run and gun fish. You zoom up on them in your pongo or sport boat and then shut down and throw the iron, and that is a lot of fun. I'll tell you that right now. But they've also got these big bonita roaming around there, like, 8 to 10 pound stuff. Yeah, there's 5-pounders running around there too, but there's been some big boneheads lately down there. And then copious amounts of rockfish, really good stuff in that neck of the woods. Several boats are continuing their run out of San Diego and fishing Colonet, which is 120 miles below the border. And there they find copious amounts of rockfish and also finding some excellent fishing on yellowtail. They haven't had huge scores on the yellows yet, but we sure are seeing quite a few of them. And also, guys at night run west and find bluefin tuna, but more on that in a moment. I'm holding off on that just for a moment longer to talk to you about the Old Glory and several other boats that have been fishing that bluefin tuna here in March. It's the dead of winter, and we still are looking at some possibilities, not possibilities, probabilities of some really great bluefin tuna fishing. Last night, we did Tackle Shop Confessions. It's archived for you. You can take a look at it now. Down there at Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California, Sam De La Torre. What a fun show that was with Sam last night. 2 hours of non-stop questions from all of you. Our previous show had 3,000 views, pushing up over 1,000 views already on this show. And as I say, you should go back and take a listen. First of all, you'll find out about the great show special Sam's got at the PCS show starting Thursday. You're definitely going to want to go see the Island Fishing Tackle booth. And also, Sam has so much great advice for all of you. The questions that came in about pairing rods and reels and so much more. You're going to love Tackle Shop Confessions. Make sure you check it out. Let's switch to the topic of bluefin tuna. Atún de aleta azul. And I got to tell you right now, there is a really good signal going on. If we focus entirely on bluefin tuna, something good is going to happen here very, very soon. Now, I've got to tell you, one boat, the Old Glory, said, you know what? We're not fishing rockfish anymore. We're not goofing around with the yellowtail. It's bluefin or bust. They are going to start running 2-day trips on board the Old Glory, leaving Friday nights out of H&M Landing in San Diego, and that says it all. Captain Clay saw exactly enough fish to make him make that decision. That's not just a whim. That's not just something he said, let's go for it. He saw a really good signal and sign of bluefin. He is convinced that if he focuses entirely on it, he's going to come up with some big scores. And man, I'm thinking he's going to do just that. And several other boats are starting to jump on board. The Polaris Supreme starts their 3-day trips here shortly. We have our 5-day trip at the beginning of April. It's really starting to come together and look really, really good. 61-degree water is what they found. Very warm for this time of the year. I've got to love that kind of a signal. They ended up with 24 bluefin on their last trip and only concentrated on it for a little while. And at one point, they had a big school under the boat, but only 4 anglers out on deck. Everybody else went to bed, went to sleep. And man, you need more anglers out there hanging fish to keep that school hanging out. 200 to 300 gram jigs seem to work really, really well on the nighttime bite. And it's so important. It's been a while since I've said this, but remember, when the captain says drop, you need to drop immediately. So keep that in mind. And the other thing that you have to do is get it to the proper depth. If the captain says 320 feet, that's where you want your jig. And the way you find out what depth you're at is with the colored metered line. Izorline makes it, several other companies make it. It's essential to your success. Knowing the exact depth that you're dropping your jig to and dropping when the captain tells you to. And look out, I think we're looking down the barrel of some big time bluefin tuna scores here this next weekend. Weather looks pretty good for that. It's going to be a little breezy in the long range forecast, but fishable. We'll see what happens. We'll continue to monitor it for you very, very closely. Since we're on the subject of weather, I mentioned rain. Doesn't look like a lot, but it looks like, a 1/2 to 1/4 inch of rain north. Sounds like some pretty good rain all the way down to Ensenada. They're going to have rain, and down to San Quintin, they have a lesser chance, but they're going to have some rain. So we're going to have a rainy Wednesday, no question about it. And there will be periods of wind. In fact, up there in the Channel Islands, it's going to get a little bit on the breezy side. Looks like they're going to have a good window there Friday to Saturday afternoon. It starts to blow up again if the forecasts are all correct. So you're going to have to watch that weather very closely. And, of course, we'll be doing that with you all. So really good signals. Now, let's talk yellowtail. I mentioned that we've seen those yellows all the way up the coast. We've also seen them at the Coronado Islands. The Pacific Voyager had a hit a few days ago on the yellows at the Coronado Islands. It is early. I'm telling you, this El Nino is making its impact. And we're going to go from an El Nino, the warmer water, to a La Nina sometime in the late spring or perhaps the early summer. It's hard to figure that out perfectly, but that's when we go to cooler water. So it is going to get a little bit crazy this year. It is a mysterious year that we're looking down the barrel of, and those are the most fun. You just never know what's going to happen. We'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. I'll be at Bass Pro Shops day after my B-Day and March the 24th doing a surf fishing seminar at 12 noon. They have an incredible sale going on during that time at Bass Pro Shop, up to 50% off on some items. And I will be there at 12 noon right in front of the big bass tank doing a surf fishing seminar. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see you at Bass Pro Shops on March the 24th, 12 noon, Rancho Cucamonga. It's going to be fun. All right, here in Southern California, sheephead are now legal to take, and that's making a big difference. Remember, I've told you, go to the market and buy the shrimp. I like the heads on, I like the entire shell on, and use that for bait on the sheephead. It will work wonders for you. We had a guy send in a question last night on Tackle Shop Confessions that he says there's red shrimp and white shrimp. Doesn't make a difference. And neither Sam and I really knew the answer to that, but we suggested to that angler that he take both and give it a try, and he's going to be out here in the next few days and give it a try and report back to us. So we'll have an empirical report about what works best, the red shrimp or the white shrimp. But the shrimp in general work so much better. Down in San Diego, we've seen some really good wintertime sand bass fishing, and we've seen that up the coast all the way to Marina del Rey and even up there in Ventura, where about a week ago the Island Spirit ran a little crew trip and they went out and just murdered the big sand bass. Our dear friend John Ho was out on the Dolphin at a Fisherman's Landing on a recent trip, and on that trip they had good fishing on the afternoon run. They had 75 sand bass, ended up with 20 sculpin to go along with it for 36 anglers. John with a nice catch of sand bass. You can hardly beat that, and we see a lot of that going on up and down the coast. The wintertime sand bass bite has been pretty darn good, actually, and it is continuing. You're going to fish anywhere from 20 to 40 pound when you're fishing that sand bass. Sometimes it's a leadhead and squid. San Diego's been using mostly sardine for bait, so 20 pound with a 2 to 4 ounce torpedo sinker, sometimes heavier, sometimes a smaller sliding egg sinker. That's where you talk to your crew member and get some good advice from them. But we're seeing a lot of that. And then other guys are focused on the whitefish and the sheephead and doing pretty darn well on that. Dina War Sport Fishing, we've seen some good stuff on that. And elsewhere also. You know, the Victory's running a sheephead derby out of Long Beach Sport Fishing. I think they had 61 sheephead on their last trip. So there's been some good stuff going on, and they have all kinds of prizes in that great tournament. So you can check that out. Speaking of great tournaments, halibut tournaments continue up and down the coast. San Diego, Dana Wharf, and the Native Son, they've been way up there at the top of the halibut catches this year. I think they have over 150 legals right now, something like 20-something fish over 20 pounds. I believe it's 4 over 30 pounds. Native Son, 22nd Street Landing. They've been going Wednesday through Sunday. They'll continue that. Have a little weather tomorrow, but they may make it out, and it wouldn't surprise me if they get out and make a catch. So what? You get a few raindrops on your head. Looks like the wind will be okay tomorrow, so you could get out and make it happen. Once again, they like that 3-way swivel, a 4 to 6 ounce torpedo sinker, something like that, and also the fin bait. And they fish some fresh dead squid at times, but it's been mostly fin bait. They like fishing 25 pound fluorocarbon, and number 4 or 6 treble hook has been essential. Their last trip, I believe they had 9 halibut, so some good stuff. Aloha Spirit up there at Cisco Sport Fishing in Oxnard also has had some pretty darn good halibut fishing. Don't forget, it's tax season, and there's one guy we trust more than anybody else, and that's our friend Tim Marquez, a Best Income Tax. Give Tim a call, whether it's back taxes or you're just trying to get your refund, or you just want to move ahead and get that tax burden off of your shoulders. Tim Marquez, give him a call today. And don't forget, if you're having issues with heating or air conditioning, nobody better than John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. John is a great guy. Give him a call today, and he'll straighten that all out for you. I guarantee it. Also, we continue to see some pretty darn good surf fishing. The barred perch fishing has been really good this year. We've seen a lot of barred perch up and down the Southern California coast. Water temps are warm enough where we're seeing other species also. I'll get into that in a moment. But barred perch fishing's been good. Huntington Beach has been great. Dog Beach has been an area. Bolsa Chica's been good. We haven't seen all that much perch here in Surfside recently, but we certainly have seen yellowfin croaker. We have also seen a few halibut in here. It's been pretty good. And we've also seen some corvina. The water temps, 58 to 60 degrees. So it's warm enough to have some of those corvina hanging around. And of course, we're going to see more and more of that as we go along. Also, we are right on the verge of some grunion runs starting to occur. March 10th is when the grunion run starts, the first one of the year here in Southern California. So we'll see how that goes. Usually a day or two before, we'll see pelicans hitting the water here, as I believe the grunion are staging up offshore. So we'll continue to watch that for you, but that's a lot of fun to take the kids to it. And more importantly, as it pertains to our surf fishing bite, it's just a magnet. It's a big chum bucket. Hey, good morning. Good to see you. It's just a big bunch of bait that brings in predators here to the Southern California coast. So surf fishing's on the verge of really getting good. And don't forget, Big Fish Bait and Tackle down there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got a great derby going on right now for the biggest barred perch in March, and you win a beautiful custom rod, and it's all free. All you got to do is go to Big Fish Bait and Tackle. You have to buy a specific ruler down there. It's called a Salty Bones fishing ruler. And then you're going to use that ruler to measure your fish, and then you're going to put the photos up on the Big Fish Bait and Tackle Instagram account. But you'll get all those rules when you go to Big Fish Bait and Tackle. Go there, get your ruler, and start catching perch and win this month's derby. Next month, another derby, perhaps on a different species. It might be spot-fin croaker or something like that. But it is going to be fun. In fact, I think we need to have a barred perch day here one of these mornings really, really soon. It's going to be really fun and really, really a glorious time. Anthony Armijo, he caught yellowfin croaker on the iron. I love fishing the iron for those yellowfin croaker. They're so much fun. He had a butterfly ray. Also, those butterfly rays sometimes feel like a halibut, man. You're fighting those things and you're like, God, I know I got a big flatty. Oh, man. It's a butterfly ray, but so what? You get a good fight out of it, and it's a lot of fun. And they are unusual critters, and they've been on the earth for millions of years. Rays are one of the fish that have been inhabiting our coastline for literally millions of years. Pretty darn good stuff. And as I said, there's been some good bar perch fishing and so much more on a glorious sunrise. It is absolutely beautiful here this morning. Lobster hoop netting continuing. Boats like the Triton out of LA Harbor have been doing their combo trips. They leave around 12 noon. They go out and catch whitefish and sheep's head. They go to Catalina and they hoop net for lobster. It's been really good. Only a couple of weeks left to this year's lobster season, which has been spectacular. It's been really a great season indeed. So hopefully that is going to continue. My voice, hold on one second. Oh, man, that coffee got cold all of a sudden. How'd that happen so fast? Anyway, folks, it's a gloriously beautiful morning. Check that out. It is absolutely gorgeous. Long range boats like the Royal Polaris right now are on ecology trips. They're headed south. They saw gray whales and so much more yesterday. Had a lovely time looking at Todos Santos Island off Ensenada and are presently headed south down the Baja coast to check out more beautiful sights for the lucky people who are on board. Other long-range boats, when they've been down in that 16-day range, have picked at the larger yellowfin tuna. Had good fishing on grade fish in the 70 to 90 pound class. Some pretty good wahoo fishing and a variety of other species groupers and stuff like that. That has also been pretty good. Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's looking really good. And the PCS show is Thursday. And the Orange County Fairgrounds, get out there. There's going to be so many great exhibits to check out. Make sure you visit Sam De La Torre and go over there and book that 5-day trip on the Independence. That's going to be a really special trip. Things are accelerated. Things are looking good. There's yellows. There's bluefin. Who knows what we're going to see another month from now It's going to be absolutely incredible. Beautiful morning. So fortunate, so blessed to be with all of you. And if I don't see you wandering around here somewhere catching a surffish, I hope to see you somewhere else really, really soon. Have a great one, my friends.